Document 2. Actual situation with the Pacific Cartel. The date the documents were prepared was 2020. Zone of influence and main conflicts. The criminal organization is present in 20 states: Aguascalientes, Baja California, Baja California Sur, Campeche, Mexico City, Chiapas, Colima, Chihuahua, Durango, State of Mexico, Guerrero, Jalisco, Oaxaca, Quintana Roo, Querétaro, Sinaloa, Sonora, Tabasco, Yucatan, and Zacatecas. It maintains confrontation with 8 criminal groups in 9 entities of the country. Baja California, against the Orellano Felix Cartel and the Jalisco Nueva Generation Cartel cjng for drug dealing and drug trafficking. Chihuahua, against La Línea Nueva Cartel de Juarez NCD, for the drug dealing of synthetic product and drug transfer routes. Colima, with cjng for control of the port of Manzanillo, conflict with SING and CAF. Jalisco, in support of La Nueva Plaza, splinter group of the cjng. Oaxaca, a point of confrontation with the cjng for drug dealing, drug trafficking, extortion, and kidnapping. Quintana Roo, the conflict is with the cjng, CDG, and Los Palones for drug dealing and extortion. Sinaloa, Los Beltran-Leyva, through the drug-producing areas, marijuana and poppy fields and drug trafficking routes. Sonora, with Los Beltran-Leyva, for the transfer and sale of drugs. Zacatecas, conflict with the Gulf Cartel CDG, Los Talibanes, and the Northeast Cartel CDN, due to the predominance of transfer routes, drug dealing, and extortion. There are fractures and internal conflict between cells that operate for each of the aspects. Sinaloa, in Culiacan and Salvador Alvarado, between cells of Los Mayos and Los Chapitos. In Badiraguado, between Los Chapitos and Los Guanos. Chihuahua, a fissure in the Gente Nueva cell, is detected in the capital. Sonora, Los Mayos fight in Nogales with cells of Caro Quintero, and in Caborca with Los Chapitos. Considerations. 2 leadership blocks can be seen: the traditional one prone to negotiation, where El Mayo, El Guano, and R1 are located, and the second headed by Los Chapitos, which is more violent. In order to mitigate the friction with the children of Guzman Lora, El Mayo chose to respect the passing of power to his children. Conflicts within CDS tend to encompass limited geographical spaces between cells or related groups that do not reach the top of the factions. In Sonora, in 2019, Zambada Garcia, Caro Quintero, and Los Chapitos directly managed the drug and migrant transfer routes to avoid an armed clash between local leaders. When CDS groups were competing with antagonistic organizations, they received support from other entities. This is the case in Chihuahua with Gente Nueva. The CDS dominates the market, production, and transfer of fentanyl. The profit of this interests other organizations, mainly the cjng. Prospects. The insistence of Los Chapitos to dominate the rest of the subgroups and thus achieve greater expansion are permanent risks of rupture within the Pacific. Ismael Zambada will continue with his negotiation strategy to avoid internal conflicts, with the intention of positioning himself as the dominant leader. The conflict between the subgroups and the divide within it will weaken the organization, especially in entities where their presence is weak or where there is resistance from other criminal groups. The conflicts with the subgroups allows other groups, such as the cjng, to expand into territory controlled by CDS. The CDS will continue to strengthen its logistics in smuggling cocaine and its eventual production in Mexico, as well as the production of poppy and trafficking of fentanyl and methamphetamine.